During Ramadan, many Muslims try to finish the Quran as fast as possible. Some people finish reciting it 2, 3, or even 5 times. Subhanallah, as though it's a speeding competition. It is recited without any understanding or contemplation. Although there is always benefit in reciting the verses of the Quran, there is a greater benefit in reciting with understanding, because the purpose of the Quran is to guide mankind. And how can we be guided if we don't take time to understand the verses? So make this the month you truly connect with the Quran.
The purpose of Ramadan is to reconnect the believer to the Book of Allah like they're starting over. And the reason that's important is because the believer is supposed to reconnect humanity with the Book of Allah. The way we do that in Ramadan, the way the first generation did that in Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ institutionalized additional prayers. Umar bin al-Khattab saw that people might lose out on that, so he made it into congregational, what we call the Taraweeh prayer, yeah? And it became an institution in this ummah. Now that institution, if you imagine the Sahaba, every time they stood in prayer and they heard Baqarah, Ali Imran, Nisa being recited, they heard the message and they understood the message. They appreciated the miracle, all in the Salah. All in the Salah. You know, sometimes you hear a powerful lecture. For them, standing in the Salah is hearing a lecture from Allah. That's what it was. They were listening to a khutbah, a maw'idha from Allah when they're standing in prayer, yes? And that was the institution. It was supposed to reconnect us with Allah Azza wa Jal in the most beautiful of ways. Okay, a few centuries later, we also have the Taraweeh prayer. Is there a difference between the way we conduct our prayers today and the spirit of those prayers of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu? There's a fundamental difference. The vast majority of you and me that are standing behind the Imam as he's reciting the word of Allah are not hanging over every word, lost and mesmerized in reflection. Rather, we are wondering, was that the first or the second? Are we on 14 or on 15? When is the ruku' coming? If the Imam takes so much as a long breath, you're like, and then he goes on to the next time, like, oh, okay. You know, some of my friends that lead Taraweeh, they're on purpose, when they get to Ayatul Kursi, they take a pause. Allahu La ilaha illahu al-hayyul qayyum. And everybody's like, oh yeah, oh God, I thought it was Allahu Akbar. You know, what I'm trying to get at, besides the joke, is there's a tragedy in the ummah. This month was supposed to genuinely reconnect us with the guidance and the appreciation and the awe of the Quran, so it can separate right and wrong for us again. But today, our relationship with the Quran has been reduced to an artificial one, where we stand in prayer and the vast majority of us don't know what's being recited. We run after the best reciter and stand behind them and wonder why the person next to us is crying. And some people are crying because they don't understand. And that's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing by itself. But then there are just a few that understand and they're moved. Sometimes the Imam himself is moved. And then we're completely okay with the culture that even the one leading us in prayer has no idea what they're reciting. And we're okay with that. We're okay with that. We've accepted that as a tradition. Yeah? Is there something wrong with this? You see some problem? We have violated the spirit of Ramadan so badly on every account. And then on top of that, if you didn't finish the recitation of the entire Quran, that's why we got to speed it up in the last few days, and there's complaints about this reciter is reciting too slowly. Who cares about finishing the Quran in Ramadan? I'd rather we pray less, but pray with attention and pray with awe, pray with understanding, get some guidance for it, reflect. That's what the spirit of this prayer was supposed to be.